International officials say Israel may have already violated humanitarian laws 6 days after a brutal attack on Israeli civilians by armed Hamas militants. Israel ordered the evacuation of more than 1 million Palestinians in northern Gaza ahead of an unprecedented ground offensive against Hamas. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said, "We will destroy infrastructures, Hamas headquarters, army." As the airstrikes continued, the United States and other countries have repeatedly warned Israel to follow the rules of war. But will they prevent civilians from being harmed? Here's what you need to know about international humanitarian laws and how they apply to the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza. Amir Cohen Is Israel adhering to the rules of war? Israel has pledged comply with international humanitarian law, including those under Geneva Convention, which aims to minimize impact on civilians, provide aid wounded on battlefield, and not mistreat prisoners of war. In general, the U.S. military and the Israel Defense Forces also rely on similar rules of engagement in military operations. Israel insists it follows the rules of war and has always done so. But there are disagreements among international groups over what exactly qualifies as a violation. In a country's quest to defend itself against terrorist attacks, and whether Israel can be prosecuted through the International Criminal Court, an organization that Israel does not recognize. United Nations and European Union officials accused Israel of violating its promise not to harm civilians by cutting off water and electricity to all Gaza residents, including hospitals. They also say it is impossible to ensure the safety of so many civilians by giving only 24 hours to evacuate. Palestinian health officials estimate that 1,799 civilians, including 583 children, were killed in Israeli airstrikes, following Hamas attacks that killed at least 1,300 Israelis. Palestinian citizens examine the damage to their homes as a result of Israeli airstrikes in Gaza City, Gaza. On October 12, 2023, Ravina Shamdasani, spokeswoman for the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, said Hamas brutality does not save Israel from adhering to international humanitarian law. It is absolutely vital that Israeli leaders and global leaders make clear that international humanitarian law is an obligation. It is not optional, and military operations must be conducted in full compliance with international law. President Joe Biden said he delivered message directly to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu this week, and later told reporters that it's really important Israel, despite all the anger and frustration, acts by the rules of war. While between Israel and Hamas movement continued for 6th consecutive day, an injured child was treated at a hospital in city of Rafah south of Gaza Strip on October 12, 2023, said KhatibAFP via how will the rules be applied in this conflict? Will civilians be saved? But avoiding